I mean, since I'm Asian, I feel like I should do the price comparison with rice, but I could find more data with bread, so I'm going to show how people lived in the past. I mean, now we are living in a world where we can't drink medium coffee with a toonie anymore, so let's compare how life was in the past. Let's go back to BC. Let's say we go back to Augustus period, which is BC year 27 to AC 14, and say you are a hastati, which is similar to a private in the military. You will get 225 denarius per year. You could purchase 16 of Herculaneum loaf with 1 denarius in that period of time. Average ancient Roman people had 7.5 denarius in their hand, and a tunic is roughly about 4 denarius. 2 denarius is a family of 3 with 1 slave's daily spending amount, so money will eventually run out if you make 225 denarius per year with lifestyle where you could spend 2 denarius a day. However, the price for 1 slave in ancient Rome began from 600 denarius to 25,000 denarius. So basically, if you have a slave, you are not average, it is considered as middle upper class in that period of time. After the Severan dynasty, it is hard to track how the economy was in Rome. The value of denarius dropped down as time went by, and the name of currency changed after Constantinus first introduced solidas. The past just feels too far from what we could actually feel. Let's fast forward, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of recent time. 1920, the Jazz Age, Great Gatsby time period. Brand new Chevy was $525, and Ford Model T is roughly about the same. And Ford was more reliable at that time. Since I drive a Cadillac, let's compare the price of a 1920 Cadillac Type 59. It was from the 1920s, and prices were $3,500 to $5,000 depending on the option. Cadillac was one of the most luxurious brands from the United States, and its competitor was Rolls-Royce in that period of time. The reason that I mentioned the car is because the car was revolutionary technology in the past, and if we compare the price with average yearly wage, we might be able to feel the value of money with our skin. $3,269.20 was the average yearly wage in the 1920s. So yes, you could be able to purchase a brand new Chevy after work for a year, and maybe a Cadillac as well. Nowadays we have financing options, so you are able to get a car if you have good credits, but honestly financing sometimes drives you nuts. $3,269 in the 1920s are equivalent of $49,341 in 2023. The data is old, but it will be more in 2025. My car starts from 36,000 USD, but with an average yearly wage, it is not easy to afford a Cadillac, and even a Chevy as well. Chevy Trax is an amazing priced car. It starts from $20,000, and honestly, if you are making an average yearly wage, then Chevy is an affordable vehicle. But it's not like 1920s. The cheapest car in the market is worth about half of average yearly wage. Plain white bread prices in the 1920s were roughly 9 cents. A dozen eggs were 47 cents, and a pound of bacon cost 47 cents. If you purchase plain white bread, it's $2.92. A dozen eggs is $7.42, and the cheapest bacon you can get is $4.44. Honestly, when I lived alone, I spent $25 per week. People are shocked how little I spend, but I usually skip breakfast, and I lost a lot of weight in Toronto, so to be fair, I starved in Toronto. The 1920s in the USA, it might sound like an amazing time, but you have to remember, there is an end to good times. At the end of the 1920s, there was the Great Depression. After the Great Depression, the average wage dropped down to $1,800, and the price of food remained the same or similar. So, think about how tough people lived during the Great Depression. Now, I'm worried as well, but I'm just trying my best to live the present. We can't change whatever is going on around the world. Whatever you have now has whatever the value. Being realistic means you see the present and have awareness of the current situation.